IrishBoxingCom in association with PD Giveaways. Callum Walsh, it's great to talk to you. Congratulations on your last win against a tough opponent in Carlos OCampo. 2026 is another 11, 10 months to go. What can we expect from Callum Walsh first off, and how was the win?
Yeah, thanks very much. It was a good win. I was happy enough with it. Considering that he's only been beaten by champions. He had 3 losses. He had 40 fights. A lot of experience. Tough Mexican fighter. And yeah, I was very happy to get the win. And yeah, I suppose in 2026, I'm going to try to fight as often as I can. I came out of this last one. No injuries, no bruises, not even soreness. So I was ready to go again, and hopefully I can get 4 fights in this year. And just be active.
Did it surprise you in a way that you came out with no bumps or bruises? Because normally you're a man who loves a knock and who loves to go in and comes out normally with one or two bumps or bruises, and that's boxing, that's the game. But were you surprised when you woke up in bed the following morning, the hand wasn't inflated, there was no eye at all, so you were all good?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, right? But especially after fighting 10 rounds, you'd expect a bit of something. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think I fought a good fight. You know what I mean? And didn't really take unnecessary chances, I suppose. You know what I mean? And get involved in too much of a scrap. With someone like him. Who had 26 knockouts. Who was like I said, a tough Mexican fighter. I think I got the job done well, and yeah, it was good. It was nice. To wake up with no soreness and no pains. The next day.
Um, I say it's very special to be kind of one of the headline boys for Zuffa's first ever professional boxing event. Does that kind of add to the occasion, Callum?
Yeah, it did. It was there'll only ever be one first. You know what I mean? And I was it. I was the first main event. No matter what anyone says. I'll always have that for the rest of my life. If Zuffa takes off and it comes one of the next big organizations. Like exactly like how the UFC did. I'll go down as always the first main event. So I think it was a unbelievable experience. It's something to really have for the rest of my life. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
What can we expect from Callum Walsh next? Is there a plan that you can reveal to us? Have you been talking to Dana? What has Dana been saying?
Yeah, I seen Dana the next day. I was at the UFC card, and he looked at me and he's like, "Oh, you don't even look like you fought." And I said, "I don't feel like it either." So let's get the next one going again. You know what I mean? I'm ready to fight again. And yeah, I've been talking to my manager. I've been talking to Tom Loeffler, and I think we'll be looking at April or May. To get back in there. To give me another camp and get back in. But yeah, I'm ready to go as soon as possible.
You're highly ranked within the you're highly ranked within all four sanctioning bodies, and there's a lot of names being called out at the moment in your division, the likes of Conor Ben and a few others. I guess you'd like one of them names.
Yeah, whoever, you know what I mean. Whoever they put in front of me, I'll show up and fight like I've always done. I never turn down an opponent, and I'm always looking for a challenge. So any name they put in front of me, I'm gonna show up and try my best to get the job done.
The last time that you were in Ireland, Callum, beers flew, people were shouting and screaming. I've never heard singing like it. And a knockout to top it off, and a great card. Would something like that be something that you'd like to do again in 2026 or into 2027 at all? Maybe grace the Trillion again, or maybe go back down south, Pokey, Queeve, Mill Street. Those names ring a bell. Like I say, that you've heard it 100 times over.
Yeah, I would love to get back to Cork. This year, I would love to do it this year, just because of how much of a success it was when we went to Dublin. You know what I mean? I can only imagine how it'd be if we go to Cork. You know what I mean? And we put on a great show again. Put on just a full Irish card. You know what I mean? Get everyone in there, get them all drunk, and get a few knockouts, and get the beers flying again. You know what I mean? There's nothing better. You know what I mean? There is nothing better than the Irish crowd, the Irish fans. You know what I mean? And the Irish fighting. You know what I mean? I said it a while ago too. We have some of the best fighters in the world. You know what I mean? And we really just need to show it to people. And to get back there with Dana and ZUFFA Boxing and Tom. And put on a show in Cork. Put on some high quality fights. You know what I mean? Throughout the whole night, not just one good main event. You want quality fights all night. You know what I mean? I think it'll be massive. It definitely has to be done in this year. It has to be done.
Obviously, you won an Irish Boxing Award this year. First off, congratulations on that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank
I
you.
guess that was a nice thing as well to start the new year.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a great way to start the new year. Getting an award. Yeah, very. It was good. There were some good names on it. There was a lot of people up for the award. Yeah, I was very happy to get that.
Has Dana talked to you at all personally? Just briefly, just back to the Ireland thing. Has he talked to you personally about that? Have you even just skirted words toward him? Listen, like kind of just not a bit of a hint, but like if it can be done, yeah, let's do it. Like even with Tom as well.
Yeah, I've talked to Tom a bit about it, and the biggest thing about Cork, is just trying to get a venue, you know what I mean, and trying to get somewhere that's indoor, you know what I mean. Just because of the weather, you can't trust the weather back there, no matter whether it's the summer or not, you still need an indoor arena, So trying to figure that out will probably be the hardest part, But yeah, whatever. If there's any arenas that are indoor and are big enough to do it, you know what I mean. I would definitely let Tom know and we can start planning it. You know what I mean. So if there's anyone watching this and they know an arena, let me know.
Um, when can we expect you out next, Callum? I know Zuffa are running kind of boxing events nearly on the weekly now, same as the
Hmm.
UFC. It's in the Apex, and obviously during COVID, we and kind of towards the back end of COVID, we seen Apex events on the weekly. Kind of a ZUFFA Boxing. Do you think, or can you say that a ZUFFA Boxing trying to kind of copy that in a way, where it's trying to get events on a weekly?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're going to do every Friday or every Sunday. They're gonna go back and forth from Friday and Sunday. Um, yeah, so hopefully I can get back in there April. Ideally April. If not, it'll be May. But yeah, I'm trying to get back in there as soon as possible. And I think it's a massive opportunity. That they're doing weekly shows. You can kind of jump right back in there. If you get something quick or whatever. And it's going to keep fighters active. And they're gonna, especially when you're in a contract with someone. If you have a contract with a promoter, to see that they're doing weekly shows, it's good for yourself, just to know, like, oh, there's always going to be fights there, you're never going to be short of a fight, so it's a good thing.
Will you be watching the events that are going to be unfolding here in Ireland? Obviously, the JB shows and the Master Queensbury shows. Will you be sitting back in America with a bottle of whatever, or a can of Pepsi or something like that to watch the Irish stars come out and show their talent?
Yeah, I have to figure out the timing and all that, when it'll be starting, and how I can get it, but yeah, I'll definitely be interested to see it, because yeah, everyone should be, like I said, we've some of the best fighters in the world, you know what I mean, so yeah, definitely.
Callum, on that note, really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, cheers, bro. Thank you.